I noticed that your eyes are leaking. How do I emote? What is up, Tether Radio listeners? Welcome back to the Tether Radio Podcast, the only podcast keeping you from spiraling out into the infinite abyss. I'm your host, Daniel, and I'm joined, as always, by Allie.
What is up?
What is up?
Dude, I don't know if we're keeping anybody from spiraling out anymore, because I feel like I might have spiraled out.
Oh my god. But I think the spiraling out is kind of relative. So if everybody's spiraling out, then nobody's spiraling out.
Right. We're keeping them tethered at least to everybody else.
Exactly. We're just a floating mass at this point, grounded by nothing.
Somebody on the Daily Zeitgeist podcast that I love, one of the hosts this week was like, I just feel like I'm just becoming like a little untethered. And I was hollering at my speaker. I was like, we can fix that.
We can fix you. Sign up. tetherradio.substack.com.
Give us a chance.
Yeah. So just to bring the listeners in on the current situation with the podcast, we are adhering to the CDC guidelines in that we're doing I'm going to start calling it physical distancing because I feel like I'm not socially distancing.
Dude, I'm trying to stay really socially with everybody because I am bored. And
exactly.
I'm glad I'm married and that Jesse lives with me, but like, he's just one person and I'm bored.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Megan and I will like sit around and like whatever. We'll play with Finn for a while and then he decides to go do something else. So we'll like get on our phones or whatever. And then I realize that I've looked through the subreddit funny and the subreddit memes to the point to where it's like there isn't any new material. Like it's like, oh no, you've seen everything. Just like, why don't you take like a 10-minute break, psycho?
I'm like that on Facebook because, you know, like if you leave it and you go back, it reloads.
Yeah.
But I'll see the same content again.
Yeah.
Plus everybody's kind of repeating themselves in the various groups I'm in. Like everybody's like posting these like, here are my top 10 things I don't like that everybody else likes. And I'm like, have I seen this post? Or was it the other 48 of them?
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, so at this point in our lives, we've just thrown in different variables to change the same shit around. So it's like, okay, we've seen Moana this past week probably 4 to 5 times because Finn is fucking obsessed with it.
Right.
Like it's almost a daily movie. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know, I haven't seen Moana while I've had 5 shots. So why don't I get like a solid fucking buzz going and then watch Moana? You laugh at different jokes.
That I love.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've still not seen the movie. I just really like that rooster.
Dude, the rooster is like absolutely fucking hilarious,
He's
and
great.
it
He's
doesn't
all
even
bug-eyed.
speak. Yeah. But which was really funny. Not to dissect Moana too much, but Megan.
Please do.
Yeah. But I'm totally going to. But Megan and I were watching it, and like at the very beginning, they introduced this character Pua, which is a pig. And it totally seems like that's going to be the sidekick.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Hey comes along. That is this Google-eyed, you know, retarded rooster kind of thing. And then it's like Pua is just completely dethroned from the Disney princess, you know, sidekick. But yeah, so it was just kind of weird because they introduce it at the very beginning, and then you see it again, like basically at the end of the movie, and that's it. So, like I said, we've been very fucking bored at our house, so we've started doing critical analyses of the movie Moana.
Dude, I listen to a handful of different like lo-fi music to read or study to playlists.
Yeah.
And they'll be like 6 hours long and I listen to them on shuffle, but I've listened so much that I'm like, oh yeah, this is that one song. This is how its beat goes. I'm like, I gotta find some new stuff.
Dude, Just wait till Spotify releases their like end of the year. This is what you listen to.
It's gonna
You're
ruin, like, mine's gonna be awful.
you're gonna have like an 80 hour a week like that's going to start in January, and then once this like virus shit starts petering out, it's gonna go down to like 15 or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah.
we can mark the end of the virus pandemic by basically everybody going outside. You know, viewership for like Netflix and Hulu and all that is just gonna tank as soon as this stuff. As
Because we're
soon as
so
this,
tired of looking at screens now.
dude. So Megan and I actually did something last night that was pretty fun, and it wasn't sex. So what we ended up doing is we both got on Netflix and we both picked out a show that neither of us had seen or that we had talked about.
Yeah.
And we watched the first episode of it. Like, watched the first episode of the one that she picked out and the
Yeah.
first episode of the one that I picked out. And then we decided which one we wanted to actually keep with or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And it was actually kind of fun. But
What'd you end
so-
up watching? Or which two?
so I chose. I had to write it down. I chose 100 Humans.
Oh, I've been eyeballing that. How is that?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally like whatever kind of like reality TV kind of ish, you know.
Yeah.
But it was kind of if this shit is not completely scripted, it's kind of interesting as to how, you know, how people choose stuff. Because
Yeah.
like for instance, the first episode that we watched was about how you view yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have like the premise behind this is they have 100 people that are from all across the United States, different demographics, different ethnicities, different genders, different ages, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they have everybody out in this like big square, like a 10 by 10 square that you have, you know, people standing. And they say, okay, if you think that you are part of if you think that you are more attractive than 50% of the people around you, like hold your red paper over your head.
Oh shit.
So people do that.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, if the people that aren't holding the papers over their head leave.
Okay.
So those are the people that thought that they were not more attractive than 50% of the people standing
Yeah.
out there. So then with that subgroup, the ones that did think that they were more attractive, they said, okay, now look around really well. Do you think that you're more attractive than 50% of the people, you know,
yeah, that are left.
that are left kind
Yeah.
of thing? And it was kind of funny because I think the first time like 30 some people left. And
Yeah.
then the second time, like 10 left or something. So it was still really skewed toward people think that they're more attractive than whatever, you know. I mean,
Right.
obviously it's subjective, but it was just kind of an interesting, like psychological whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Little exercise.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the main gist of that show, and
Yeah.
they'd cover everything from like. That stuff to like sex and whatever, you know, cooking or something like that, and it's just it's the whole gamut kind of thing. And then Megan chose the show Good Girls. Have you heard of that one?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
So basically the premise behind this, and I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 girls. I think it was 4 girls. Anyway, so these 4 women are different ages and stuff, and they're all kind of going through financial hardships.
Okay.
So I can't remember exactly how they all know each other either, but I was kind of fading in and out of consciousness after getting Finn in bed. So.
Yeah.
And definitely imbibing a bit. So, but anyway, so they planned this this not heist, but basically a robbery of the grocery store that either they all work at or like a couple of them work at.
Yeah.
And they were thinking, okay, well, they do like deposits on this day and blah, blah, blah. And so we should be able to get at least like $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, so they pull off the robbery, and they end up with like $500,000.
Oh shit.
Kind of thing. And they're like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Well, come to find out, this grocery store is almost like a money laundering firm.
Oh shit. So now they're in over their heads.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how pretty much how the first episode ends. So.
Yeah.
But it was not bad. I mean, it's got some actresses in it that you would definitely recognize.
Yeah, I looked it up, and the only one I recognize is Christina Hendricks, but like I'm sure people know the others too.
Yeah. So there was one chick from here. Let me pull it up real quick. That was in Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay.
The black lady that was in Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Oh, she was Donna on Parks and Rec. But,
okay.
Let's see. Oh, her name's Retta. She's a one-name lady. And then this Mae Whitman girl, she was in not Modern Family. What was that other? Was it Modern Family?
That was one.
Modern Family's the sitcom, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, there was. This is Us. No, fuck. What was it?
Something we don't watch.
Some family, yeah, some kind of family thing. Megan was like, it's basically emotional porn kind of thing, for lack of a better term. God, that's gonna kill me. I'm looking it up real quick. Like,
okay,
what the hell was she in? It was something about family stuff that it had the guy that played Coach as the dad.
Oh yeah,
what the fuck was that called? Shit. I know everybody that listens to this is going to be screaming at the...
I know, everybody's just hollering the answer.
Yeah. Parenthood, that's what it was. Good call. But yeah, so it was pretty good. This Good Girls show, it was good. I'd definitely recommend at least giving it a try. I mean, kind of the bar is set pretty low these days just because everybody's bored out of their fucking minds. So, but yeah, speaking of being bored out of our fucking minds and getting good recommendations, we wrapped up Tiger King.
Oh, God. I'm like mad that I watched it, really. I'm like, yeah. It was so sad.
Yeah, it was one of these things that the first 4 episodes were fucking like just amazing. It was like a bunch of coked up like rednecks trying to take care of big cats kind of thing. And then the 5th episode happened.
Oh God.
And also, it was just like,
I heard some people making fun of the 5th episode, and like they kind of held back from saying that everybody was on meth until the 5th episode. Like, we all knew. Oh, yeah. Everyone knew that was meth. Like, or at least some kind of drugs.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, there's just so much going on in that show.
Oh, my God.
If you have not watched it, I would 100% recommend it, but just take it with a grain of salt, man.
It's so dark. And, somebody on another podcast was saying you could make a documentary on basically anyone in that fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, that dude that was like the drug lord guy.
The drug lord guy.
Mario or whatever his name was. I can't remember. Shit. That one movie was like based on him. Scarface. Scarface was based on him.
Oh, what?
Do you don't remember them talking about that?
No. Oh my God. Like I said, we watch this shit at the end of the night, and most of the time I'm in and out of consciousness.
Well, they really didn't cover him enough. I mean, you're the guy that they made Scarface based on. Like, you should get a little more screen time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Honestly,
they probably be a good one to do a whole show about, but I'd be afraid to.
He probably fucking threatened him and was like, if you put me in any more than this, then I'm gonna fucking be after you. So.
I mean, he seemed pretty cool with it. Like, he knows what he's about.
Yeah. Jeez, dude.
God.
Yeah.
The show is just wild. And I wanted to like Joe Exotic, and you kind of can't help but like him.
Mm-hmm.
But then really, like, the scene where like the tiger mom was giving birth and he's immediately taking the cubs away and then he's bitching that they're crying. I'm
Oh,
like, you
well,
have no soul.
but see, that's what was really kind of fascinating to me about all of these people is
Yeah.
they're all fucking sociopaths that
Yeah.
like they're able to justify what they're doing with the cats, even though they're all kind of fucking doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I see the big cat rescue stuff, whatever. I
It doesn't sound like she's doing a very good rescue part
Oh,
of
well,
the
no,
job.
and I would completely agree with you. But
Yeah.
she's over here like pointing at him, oh, you're keeping the cats in cages. They should have bigger cages. And it's like,
Yeah.
how about not having them in cages?
Yeah, like you can't necessarily put them back in the wild, but
Yeah.
like you should have them on like their own like open like give them acres of field. Don't keep them in a cage, you
And
know?
these fools could have the means to do that, but the problem is it gives them less control.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, when I want to film being around these cats, I want to know that they're going to be in this, like, whatever,
Yeah.
200 square foot space.
And
So,
there's a couple people on there that seem like good people. Like there's
mm,
the person that lost their arm.
geez, yeah. Oh, I just found her, Kelsey Saffery.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's like
well,
the
honestly, the
one
keeper, it's like the keepers are
yeah.
they're like in it for the right reason kind of
And I think
thing.
they probably got attracted for the wrong reason. Like at
Yeah,
first they were like, "Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
tigers, that's crazy." And
yeah.
then they were probably like, "I can help these animals, I can care for them."
Hmm.
Ugh. Did you
Yeah.
catch the part? There were so many things that they said kind of quickly, and
Uh,
I'd be like, "Wait, wait, wait. Did people notice this?" Like they were using the like expired throwaway Walmart meat as pizza toppings.
yeah.
Ugh. Like
I
at that they
saw.
were serving to the customers.
Yeah. I
Oh.
mean, dude, it's this. I feel like I might actually have to go back and rewatch this
I
for
have
the
heard people
sole.
say that watching it a second time, there's so many levels, so you get
Yeah,
more out of it.
no, it's no shit. It's like I would liken this to if fucking Arrested Development was a documentary.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's so chock full of just like fucking material that you watch it once and it's like your brain can't even keep up with like how many jokes are coming at you and shit or how many details are coming at you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. On that note, HBO opened up a ton of their stuff.
oh
And
really?
yeah, did you not see that? I thought
No,
everybody
no,
knew
no, no.
this.
No, I didn't see that.
I meant to send you it. They like as of Friday, they opened up like you can watch all of The Wire, you can watch
I
Sopranos.
haven't seen any of either of those.
Me either. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch The Wire. But
Yeah, I've heard The Wire's good.
yeah, I've heard it's great. I've heard it's
Yeah.
better than Breaking Bad, which is a bold statement.
Well, and honestly, which I think I've discussed this on
You
here.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. Megan and I made it to season 3, and then we were just like, Jesus, this is so dark. Like,
Yeah,
it's going to end in a murder
it
suicide,
was real dark.
and not on the show.
Oh God. Well, Veep though is one of the funniest shows I have ever encountered, and
Yeah.
it is very like it's really fast paced, like the dialogue and stuff, and
Mm.
they have the best writers. So they'll say something that's just a total zing,
Yeah.
and you'll be just laughing your face off, and they'll already go on to the next line, and you're like, wait, wait, what? What?
That's awesome. Dude, I just looked up
Cat,
The
my cat needs
Wire.
out of my room, so let me open
Yeah.
the door. Hold,
Dude,
please.
Goomba waits for no one.
Cat, come on. Go.
Man. Well, I'll wait until Allie gets back in the captain's seat.
Sorry, he
No,
runs
you're
my
good.
life.
So I just looked The Wire up on IMDb.
Yeah.
It's sitting at a 9.3 out of 10
Yeah,
with
dude.
over 260,000 reviews.
Like everyone loves The Wire.
What the fuck, man? I totally need to check this out.
Yeah.
My God. And there was something else that I wanted to mention. Let's see. Oh my God. Megan and I decided to introduce Finn to Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I
Like,
watched it when I was little, but like I'm sure now if I watched it, I'd be like, is everyone on drugs?
and the answer is yes. Like, holy fuck, man. It is so out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much stimulation that, like, no shit. We played 15 minutes of the first episode for Finn just because it was, like, right before bedtime.
Yeah.
And Finn was just like posted up on the couch, slack jawed, like staring at the TV because there's so much like fucking stimulation going on. It's like the chairs are singing and Pee Wee's like laughing, and every time that they say door, everybody screams and like this, that, and the
Wow.
other.
Yeah.
It's like, and then we turned it off, and he's just like, it looked like we had just cut him off from like a mad cocaine habit, and he was just immediately in withdrawal.
Give me my fix, Dad.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy, but it was insane shit. And then my fucking phone. I think that when our power went out last week, it fucked up our internet,
Yeah.
and my phone just starts dropping from our internet, and I can't get it to like remain connected. I was like, "Don't you do this to me?
What
Don't you
the
take
hell?
this away? Like, we're trying to quarantine here. I need internet access." Like,
Yeah,
and
last Sunday morning when the power was out, Jesse's
yeah,
like, I am so bored. What the fuck do I do? And I was reading an actual book, and I'm like,
yeah,
I have recommended you like 3 or 4 books fairly recently. Like, they're over there in a stack. Pick
yeah,
one. He's like,
yeah.
no.
No, Megan will like occasionally put her phone down and just be like, "Dude, I'm so fucking bored. Entertain me. Like,
Yes.
do something to entertain
I
me."
went to bed last night at like, I don't know, 11:30 or something, and Jesse came and just started like poking me and was like, I'm so bored. Like playfully hitting me, and he was like,
Yeah.
entertain me.
Oh my God. So something else that I literally have in my podcast notes, I have suggestions for entertainment and food. And just in case anybody missed this, Community is on Netflix now.
Oh,
And I think it's been on Netflix for a couple months now. But if you missed it like I did, that is like one of my favorite, whatever, I guess, sitcoms from, contemporary sitcoms. Have you seen any Community?
no, I didn't. This sounds awful, but I'm
Yeah.
not a huge comedy fan.
Oh, really? Gotcha.
Like for something to really crack me up, it has to be like really sarcastic and like really clever
Hmm.
or just really dumb funny. Like Always Sunny is amazing and it cracks me the hell up, but like Arrested Development and Veep, like I really like that like dry like cutting humor.
Dude, I'm telling you, I would give it two
Yeah.
episodes, and they're
Shit.
only they're only 22 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
So like you can literally squeeze 3 episodes into an hour,
All
kind
right,
of
I'm
thing.
adding it to my short list.
But it is great because well, if people aren't aware of this show, it's been out since like 2008 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's got Joel McHale, who I absolutely loved on Talk Soup on
Yeah.
E.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
used to come on E. And like, dude, he was the fucking best at or no, I guess it was John Henson. John Henson and he took over for John Henson, and like fucking A, man. He
Yeah.
just did a really fucking good job. And so then Dan Harmon got involved and created this show Community. It's got like Donald Glover, what's the guy's name? Chevy Chase,
Oh God.
the Ken Jeong or whatever. Is
Yeah.
that Jong? Ken Jong?
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
What the dude
everybody that
from
I've ever
yeah.
heard talk about it likes that show. Yeah.
Dude, it's just so it's great because it kind of has a little bit of everything that you just said. It's
Yeah,
got
okay,
like
okay.
it's got like mad fucking sarcasm, but then it's also got characters that are just so fucking goofy
Yeah.
that it's like anyway, it's fantastic. They're short. It's easily digestible.
I need some easily digestible stuff right now because like I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get caught up on Ozark. That shit
Yeah.
is dark.
It's dark, but fuck, it's good,
Oh,
man.
it's so good. Are you guys
But
caught
I
up in
agree.
it?
No, 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 no. We are on episode 2, I believe. No,
Okay.
no, episode 2 of season 2.
Okay, okay.
So
I'm
yeah.
somewhere around that, but season 3 just came out the other day.
That's what I saw. That's what I
Yeah.
saw. Megan and
Yeah.
I were just looking for something like super fucking light lately,
Yeah.
which I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody is. So
I've got a ton of books that I want to read, but like every time I pick one up, I'll read like a chapter. I'm like, I don't want this one.
yeah, yeah. Well, dude, and Megan has been pounding through Fantastic Land,
Good, yeah. Are you
and
liking
which
it?
oh shit, drop my pen. Yes, I am. I'm actually
Okay.
really liking it. And it's kind of I think I'm like right around
Oh
70%
wow. Okay, good.
through it. But it's dude, it's one of these things like Megan read it for like a day and was like at 40%.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's I mean, fuck, dude, she knocked out horror store in one day.
Yep.
And so I mean, which I'm sure that's like on par for you and her, but my third grade reading level, I have to sound words out still. So. To he, oh thee. Um, but speaking of easily digestible stuff,
Yeah.
I wanted to give this a mention because I'm not gonna lie, I think Megan and I are gonna take advantage of it.
Uh-oh.
Moe's has decided to open this like side thing from their catering, and it's just called Moe's Market.
Yeah.
And literally, you put in orders for, I think it's a 3 pound minimum, 5 pound maximum.
Yeah.
And you can order basically any of their food by like the pound kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can like we were gonna get like 3 pounds of steak for right around 33-34 bucks,
Yeah.
which is not bad if you take into account it's probably like flank steak and all that shit. But it tastes good and it's already prepared.
Yeah, it's
And
already like marinated. It tastes good. It's fully cooked. Like you can just warm some up and throw it on another taco because I think everyone we know is just living off tacos
I
right
know,
now.
dude, I'm telling you. Megan's like, I just want an egg sandwich. And I was like, egg tacos? And she's like, no, fuck your egg tacos. I want an egg sandwich. Give me bread. I
Like
just
we
want
had
normal
tacos
bread.
Friday night and then I had the leftovers yesterday for lunch Saturday and I'm like, we could have tacos tonight. I'm like, what is my problem?
Dude, but see, that's the thing is like, we'll cook food, like normal food, and like pork chops and potatoes and broccoli or something
Yeah.
like that. And then I'll just chop up the pork chops and then put them on tacos for the rest of the
Everything
week.
can be a taco.
Exactly. But yeah, so I wanted to give Moe's a shout out.
Cool.
If you do want to sponsor us, Moe's, we can be contacted at tetherradio@gmail.com. So,
We will accept your sponsorship.
yeah, we will take 1 pound of meat a week. I promise. No sweat off your back. We'll give you a shout out every episode. But
Oh
anywho,
man. Well,
I
I've
think
got a
that
story about food.
do it. Let's do
Perfect.
this.
Did you hear about Triscuits?
No, but I fucking love Triscuits.
Okay, great. Okay. So, this guy on Twitter, his name is Sage Boggs, which I'm sure is a joke. It sounds like Wade Boggs, which was a
Yeah.
really good episode of Always Sunny.
Yeah.
So he said a few years ago he was at a party and he saw this box of Triscuits and he started asking everyone where the name came from. Like the biscuit part makes sense, but what's the try? And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm real fun at parties." So everybody decided it must mean 3, like 3 layers or 3 ingredients, something like that. And he Googled it, but he couldn't find an answer. So he emailed Triscuit to ask. And they replied to him and they said, there were no business records that survived which specifically explain the origins or inspiration for the name. We do know the name was chosen as a fun derivation?
Derivation, yeah.
Okay. That sounds weird. Why
It
can
does
I
sound
not
weird.
pronounce anything anymore?
I know.
So obviously the
To
biscuit
he.
obviously the biscuit part, but the try does not mean 3. So he's like, wait, what the fuck? Okay, first off, like, lot to unpack here. What do you
Yeah.
mean the records didn't survive? Was there a great fire? Also, if you don't know what it means, how do you know it doesn't mean 3? What the fuck?
Oh God! Let me put my tinfoil hat on for the rest of this Triscuit discussion.
Oh my god. So this was really good. Like everybody was retweeting this too.
Yeah.
So he started researching it more himself online, and he found this old flyer for Triscuits that is so cool. And
Uh,
it says they are baked by electricity because at the time they're the only cracker baked that way. And then he realized electricity biscuit. That's
ah,
where the tri comes from. And then Triscuit
huh.
confirmed it on Twitter, saying they went all the way up their ladder. And now Triscuit has a lightning bolt emoji in their Twitter display name.
Yes. Oh my God, the original lightning cracker.
So apparently the whole world is as bored as we are.
Jeez, dude. That's a pretty fucking awesome little like rabbit hole to
It's
fall
pretty
down.
neat. Yeah, and that flyer is really cool. I'll have to I'll put that in the newsletter this week. It's a cool
Yeah.
little I like old school like flyers for stuff like
Oh,
that.
dude. When so being the fat kid that I am, I love Cheetos. And I absolutely loved when they started doing the throwback bags of
Yeah.
the puffs or whatever that it's
Yeah.
like from the fucking 80s that I swear to God it shows up in basically every like 80s family movie like E.T. or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
there's a bag of Cheetos on the table.
I didn't realize they make Flamin' Hot Cheeto puffs.
Oh, I bought some of those for Megan and she was not a fan.
Really?
Yeah, and she loves Flamin' Hot
Yeah.
Cheetos.
I didn't buy them because I'm pretty good on snacky stuff right now.
Dude, oh, I didn't tell you.
Uh-oh.
I went to the grocery store. First of all, holy flying fuck. Going to the grocery these days is like going into an active war
It
zone.
is a. I was gonna say a war zone. Yes.
Yeah, it is terrible. And but so what I've tried to do since I hate people in general is that I will literally go and I'll try to go at like as early as possible, but I'd also like to have my list organized so that I'm like in and out as quick as fucking
I
possible.
always
And
put my list in order of where the shit is in the store.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so I always get frustrated because Megan and I use TickTick, and she can add items and stuff. And so she'll be at home, and I'm headed to the store, and I'll see like a notification, pop up, and it's like, Miri added items to the grocery list. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And now I'm going to have to take 5 minutes to reorder everything because there's no way that she did that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I went to the store the other day, and I went to go pick up some Cantina Thins, the Tostitos Cantina Thins.
Yeah.
And because Megan and I have been on like a mad kick of Mrs. Renfro's habanero salsa and Cantina Thins. I know. You could call me OCD, but that would probably be the understatement of the year. So, but
Extremely
so
picky about your chip options.
exactly, exactly. So I go in the chip aisle and they're like restocking everything, and I'm like standing there looking around, and like the guy that's restocking clearly can see that I'm not finding the product that I want,
Yeah.
and
Does he help? No.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
he totally helps, and he
Oh.
was actually really friendly.
Okay, good.
And I was like, hey, or he was like, hey, my God. I think I just had three tongues in my mouth at one at one
Man, I don't know what kind
time.
of stuff you're into these days.
Seriously. But anyway, so he's like, "Oh, do you need help finding something?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was looking for the Tostitos Cantina Thins." And he goes, "Oh, no, no, no. We've stopped production of those."
What?
And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, they take significantly longer to manufacture or produce than the normal chips because I guess they have to like smash them thinner through
Oh,
like
for fuck's
longer."
sake.
Dude, I know. No, I'm not joking. I'm not making this shit up. And he's like, "So they've temporarily suspended production of them."
I can't.
Yeah. I was like, "No!" I just like broke down on my knees and just yelled, "Porque!" Because I'd normally yell out why in Spanish
Sure,
whenever,
yeah. Uh-huh.
I have
Uh-huh.
high emotion moments. But anyway, so then like he could probably see in my eyes that I was like on the verge of breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I mean, we have these strips over here, and it's just like, nah, brah. but thanks. I
Oh
appreciate the
God.
help. And I just like, slunk my head and like, walked off poutily. No, I actually settled for just like round, like bite-sized Tostitos, which
Those are okay.
they're pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good like salsa to chip ratio that you can achieve.
I really like that Mission brand. Is that the
Yeah.
brand? Yeah.
Yeah, Mission. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got some good ones
I
too.
like those a lot.
But yeah, but I thought that was kind of fucking interesting that they fucking temporarily. He was like, we can't keep them on the shelves. People buy them, and he was like, they take forever to like make, kind of thing.
Wow.
So I put out a call to my parents, and I was
Oh my
like, next time
God.
you're at the grocery store, if they have Cantina Thins, buy a couple of bags. And I will gladly come over to your house and stand 6 feet away so that you can throw them to me. So, but my God, dude, it's really weird how we're watching this like complete and utter paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shit is just I mean, for instance, me talking about this Moe's Market shit. Good luck finding decent beef cuts at the grocery right now.
Dude, I
They
know.
just get
Like
bought up immediately.
Trader Joe's has been pretty good on their protein, but
Hmm.
otherwise, like I do a lot of grocery shopping just at Target.
Yeah,
At like if I need a lot of fresh stuff, I'll go to the actual store.
yeah,
But otherwise, if I'm just getting a few things, I'll get it at Target. They don't have any protein right now. Like there's like
yeah.
no chicken, no beef. I'm like, this is
Exactly.
weird.
It's super fucking weird. Which I went to. I mean, on my perilous search for fucking Cantina Thins,
Right.
I went to Target on the way home.
Yeah.
And I went over to their like chip aisle or whatever, and to no avail.
Uh,
And yeah, it sucks. But then I overheard someone talking about making cinnamon rolls from scratch,
oh.
and she was talking about not being able to find yeast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna swoop in and fucking make her day. Now, this is before I read the rest of the recipe
Oh
that I
yeah.
was gonna follow. Well, Tether Radio listeners, your boy Daniel here has started his own sourdough starter. That's where we're at right now.
Oh, the world is a strange place.
So I've had that going for about 4 days now. I think it'll be ready to use either like today or tomorrow, kind of thing. But I thought that having a sourdough starter was going to allow me to basically circumvent the need for yeast.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I thought that was the whole concept. You have this shit growing, and that's why you don't need yeast for sourdough bread, or I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
anyway, my preconceived notions were incorrect. So you definitely still need yeast. Unless someone out there has a recipe that just uses a starter. I don't know if that exists.
I did see that Pinterest had like a 4,400% increase on people searching for yeastless bread recipes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I don't know what the best ones are or anything. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
I'll have to do some research. I think, did I post that in the Facebook group? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
If I didn't, I'll try to get that. I'll put that in the Facebook group. The little sourdough starter for anybody that wants to dabble in some microbiology for a little bit.
Uh,
But yeah, so this lady was talking about that, and I was like, hey, did you know you can start your own sourdough starter, like just using flour and water? She goes, no, really? So I took like 5 minutes to like tell her how to do it and everything, and I felt like I did my good deed for the day. I'm not gonna lie, because she seemed like really happy to have that knowledge now.
oh, good. Good.
So, but anywho, my ramblings probably need to be cold. So I'm going to stop now.
Well, I have one more food thing.
All right.
The Waffle House Index.
Ah, yes.
So This actually has a Wikipedia page, and it was termed in May of 2011 after a tornado went through Joplin,
Hmm.
Missouri, I think.
Okay.
A FEMA administrator coined the term because the two Waffle House restaurants in the city still stayed open. Basically, it's not anything official, but they use like seeing whether the Waffle Houses in an area are open or how quickly they reopen after usually a weather thing to
That
decide
is
how bad shit is.
that is so. I wonder. I mean, that is just so bizarre that that just seems like a very well. I say it seems like a very random restaurant to kind of base your decisions on, but like, I
Well,
mean,
but
they
they're
are
always open. Like
ubiquitous
they
and
don't close
like,
for like holidays or anything.
yeah,
So I guess that's a good reason. I don't know. But
huh.
there's an article that just came out like end of March on
Hmm.
Washington Post saying that one reason Waffle House does so well is because they're prepared for situations where they can have just a limited menu, like right now.
Oh
And like
wow.
they've learned from the past and they have a really good emergency plan.
That is kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, it said hour by hour, Waffle House's reality is changing. Like that was a statement from Waffle House. I was
What?
like, man, we are all Waffle House right now.
Seriously. Holy shit, man. That's
Like,
awesome. How old is Waffle House?
I
Do
don't
you know?
know. They have a kind of cool Twitter account. Like they retweet a lot of people like that, say nice things about them. Oh,
Yeah.
founded September 5th, 1955 in
Jeez.
Georgia.
Labor Day.
Ah,
That's
yeah, that
crazy.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Huh.
crazy, dude. Yeah, so I went to the Waffle House website and these two are they brothers?
I don't know.
No,
They've
Joe
got different
Rogers
last
and Tom
names.
Forkner, so two
Yeah.
different last names, but they just totally look like everybody's grandpa
Yeah,
kind of thing.
good old Pappies, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Which I'm not gonna lie, I love some Waffle House. But I do I do remember this one time that this was totally on my buddy. So Brian, if you ever Brian, we also called him Snooky. Just because he was high maintenance like Snooky. So but
Poor
but
dude.
anyway, we went to Memphis for a pharmacy weekend kind of thing, and
Yeah.
basically pharmacy weekend they bring in all of the newly accepted students,
Hmm.
and then you get some tours and you get to meet current pharmacy students and get shown around like campus and all this jazz.
Yeah.
And it's over Friday, Saturday, Sunday of one weekend.
Hmm.
And what also occurs is absolute mad binge drinking at night. And so I don't know if I've ever driven back from a pharmacy school weekend not hungover.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So this one weekend, it was like me and my buddy Brian, and then our other friend KP, and I can't remember if we might have had a fourth person. I don't think no, I think it was just us three because we were coming back to Knoxville. Um, and we stop at fucking Waffle House
Of
because
course.
what else is gonna be better for a
You
hangover?
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we stop, and they ask me what I want, and I'm like, fucking All Star. Is there anything else on your menu? Like, I want the All Star, and I want a pecan waffle. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'd like.
Uh-huh.
So it goes to my buddy KP, and he's like, "Oh, give me that chick choc waff." And I'm like, "Oh, nice, dude. Choc or chip. What is it? Choc chip. That's
Chuck
what it
chip.
is.
Okay, that
Choc
makes more
chip.
sense.
Chip. Yeah. Anyway, he was like, "Yeah, give me that choc chip waff." And I was like, "Oh, nice, nice." It gets to our buddy Brian. He's like, yeah, can I get a house salad?"
What?
And
You
I swear to
absolutely may
God,
not.
you could hear a fucking pin drop because it was one of these things that were like, who in the flying fuck
No.
goes to Waffle House and gets a house salad?
No, sir.
And so I watched them pull this salad out. There's no fucking telling how old this salad is because nobody fucking orders
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like got some saran wrap on it and stuff, you know, some wilted lettuce leaves and stuff. It was just, it looked fucking foul. And so, you know, we all eat and everything, and then we hop in the car and get on the road, and he's like, "Oh, my stomach doesn't hurt. My stomach doesn't feel real good. I think I'm gonna try to take a nap." And I'm just like, "Dude, you just had a fucking house salad from Waffle
Like,
House.
I
What
want
were
him
you
to have
expecting?"
had syrup as the dressing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, my God. But yeah, dude, just that was the first time for me ever seeing someone order something like that from Waffle House. Which I always forget that they actually have other food than breakfast foods.
Oh yeah, they've got like burgers and stuff, but I
Yeah,
mean, you
I hadn't
have
had
to
them.
get your hash browns.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and that's the other thing. I always loved it because it's kind of like the In-N-Out burger
Yeah.
stuff that it's like its own language.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I need it shroomed and covered and smothered, and I don't know all of them. So
I know, I don't either. I used to.
yeah, yeah. But no, I think that that's absolutely fascinating as shit that
Yeah.
that companies would look toward whatever Waffle House and their not even their business model, but just like, oh, how dire is the situation? Well, Waffle House is still open,
Yeah.
so we're not post-apocalyptic, you know?
Well, as of the most recent number that I saw, Waffle House tweet, a little more than 1 in 5 of their restaurants are closed right now.
Oof,
It's
man.
dire. That's
Yeah,
dire.
20%. That's, you know, or a little over 20%.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Sad.
So, all right. Well, so I want to, if it's cool, hop over to Zoom.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to hate on Zoom for a little bit
We
because
are not using Zoom. We are using Skype.
we're using, I don't know, the lesser of two evils. So. But if you haven't heard, Zoom has been put under the spotlight for not only having a user base absolutely explode during this global pandemic, but also some very, very large security flaws have been unmasked, I guess. So when I say a boom in users, let's see, let me find that one paragraph. So in December of 2019, they had about 10 million users participating in daily calls.
Yeah.
Last month, and I think that would make it, so March, because this came out on April 2nd. Last month, they had 200 million daily users. So we're talking about a 20-fold fucking increase, dude.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
But like I hung out with a friend last night on that house party app we've been using, and she did a like happy hour with her extended family Friday night, and they used Zoom. Like it's people, it's not just work. Like now everybody's using it because we want to see faces that do not live in our homes.
Yeah. Look, sounds like the train's in town.
Ah, the damn train.
No, we were talking about this real quick tangent. So Allie lives very close to where my parents used to live.
Yeah.
And there's a train track very close. And I swear to God, unless you're outside or trying to do something that you hope that a train doesn't come by, there is no train.
There
It
can
doesn't
be no
exist.
train for 8 hours. And like the second we open the garage to leave, a train just blares its horn. It's remarkable.
It's pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopping back to the Zoom stuff, there were all of these things that had been unmasked. For instance, they were talking about how Zoom actually had on their website, and I haven't checked to see if it's still on their website, but they actually had on their website that they have end-to-end encryption, which is kind of the gold standard these days with any kind of communication technology.
Yeah.
Because everybody's scared about people listening in, and including me, because I don't like this shit at all. So, so having a company have all of my communication and all that stuff and access to it, that's just it's a little unsettling.
Yeah.
But Zoom had on their website that they had end-to-end encryption, and it's not even possible for them to have end-to-end encryption for Zoom video meetings. And that was what a spokesperson from Zoom said. So that right there is like, I don't know, making claims that are just completely fucking false.
Yeah.
Does not put a nice taste in my mouth. So.
No, and like also people just latch onto these buzzwords. So like
Yeah.
people will be like, "Well, my data needs to be encrypted," and I just want to be like, "What does that mean? Tell me why your data needs to be encrypted."
Yeah.
Also, it depends what you're talking about. Like, do I care if like the government is looking at my text messages? No, because I'm just sharing shit posts that I found from Reddit.
Well, and I think that the main issue is the fact that it's like, or at least I know in my eyes, I agree that a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, so why does it matter?"
But it is the point. It really is
Yeah.
the like
Well,
you're entitled to your privacy, and I don't really want the government seeing my shit posts. But
yeah, all of my Tiger King memes.
listen, I'm gonna have to make their own folder
Yeah.
on my damn photos. It's
Yeah,
bad.
right.
It's so bad.
Yeah. But anyway, so they had some other hacker, or at least previous hackers that that were able to find these vulnerabilities and stuff. And this one was one that I was kind of like, ooh, this is kind of insidious. So when you install Zoom's Mac installer, it uses a pre-installation script, which means nothing to me. But basically what it is you have this installer and it throws the actual application on your computer, kind of thing.
Right.
And it displays a faked system message to confirm what has already happened behind the scenes. So it says, "Hey, is it cool if we do this?" And it doesn't matter what you fucking push. It's already been done. Like, so this guy, Felix Steele, he's the technical lead at malware tracker VM-Ray. He was the one that kind of was explaining this I guess security flaw, and he was quoted as saying, "This is not strictly malicious, but very shady and definitively leaves a bitter aftertaste. The application is installed without the user giving his or her final consent, and a highly misleading prompt is used to gain root privileges." So I know that root privileges, I don't know exactly what they are, but I know that it's one of these things that, like, if someone has root privileges, they can literally control everything about the device that you're using.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So yeah, there's just some real like weird shit that I'm sure this stuff was flying under the radar until Zoom got, just absolutely blew up because everybody and their brother is using a video teleconferencing app now, Plus, there was this issue of what's been dubbed Zoom bombing, which basically what it is people. It's kind of more of a prank than anything.
Yeah.
But it also is kind of one of these things that it's like, should this really be available, or even should random people even be able to do this?
Yeah.
It's basically when someone guesses a Zoom conference ID. And then they can choose to screen share, which automatically pushes what they have on their screen to the meeting screen, the main meeting screen. And people have been like putting anything from like pornography to like fucking like Nazi shit, and like just like basically if you were to drag the depths of 4chan and then put that into a video, that's what people were using to like Zoom bomb meetings.
Oh God.
And so that was like, that was like a fucking huge issue, which they said that they've addressed it at this point. But the problem is they only addressed it for like the people that are registered as like educational users. So the average consumer, it still has to go in and manually opt out of like the screen sharing stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of these things that like, I think that a lot is going to come from, this, like we were talking about, this paradigm shift of how we are, sorry, my computer's spazzing out.
Oh, great.
HP support assistant, important action needed. No.
No.
Why do you need important action at 11:44 on a Sunday? So, anyway, but I think that a lot of stuff that has been flying under the radar, and it's like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal because it's like 1 million users or whatever.
Yeah.
Once that number, goes up tenfold or whatever, yeah, people are going to be like looking into like, oh, well, is this, in the age of technology, is my privacy worth the convenience?
Right.
But anyway, so the cool thing about this is the CEO, what is his name? Eric S. Yoon, who we were talking about a little bit pre-show.
Yeah.
He is a he is from he's Chinese, and he went to like like the Shanghai like Technical Institute or something like that. And take this with a grain of salt, and honestly, if anybody else knows anything about this, I would love, love, love to have that information. Mm-hmm. And I probably will end up looking into it myself.
Yeah.
But it was kind of reported that he had some kind of shady not backstory, but background kind of stuff, that it was very difficult for him to get a work visa to work in the United States. And so, I don't know, I kind of want to look into that, just because obviously I feel like we're almost in like technological warfare with China right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That it's like, oh, well, this guy that is Chinese and came from a Chinese institute and has a work visa kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, a lot of weird shit.
Real sketchy.
Yeah, a little bit sketchy. But so to I guess end on a note, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for the time being.
Yeah.
They have decided to basically put a freeze on developing any new features for Zoom until they're able to address all of the security and like all those issues kind of thing. So
yeah, but like people are still going to keep using it whether you're improving it right now or not.
Well, and not only that, dude, it's not like they have a fucking timeline for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we're actively working on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well,
Sure you are, buddy.
Yeah. Do we have like some conclusive evidence that this is actually going to be addressed? You know? Or are we just going to have to follow up? Have these white hat hackers or whatever follow up with you, kind of thing. So I don't know. I would advise people to probably stay away from Zoom if you can for the time being, because there are plenty of other whatever programs and applications that you can use for video teleconferencing.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of some of this stuff. The like Google Duo.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but my friend just mentioned it yesterday. Is it just like Hangouts but for two people?
No, so I think that you can actually do more than you can have more than two users, because I think I saw a screenshot somewhere that they at least had 4 on there. But that's supposed to have they're actually supposed to have end-to-end encryption kind of thing, which, by the way, and I don't want to sound patronizing or anything, but do you know like kind of the background behind that?
Behind the end-to-end? Not really, no.
So basically the idea behind it is that the data is encrypted on one end, and so if someone was to intercept it, it would require a key to actually
Yeah,
get the information.
right,
And so if, but the key is shared with the other user
right.
kind of thing. So, or at least that's my understanding of it. Now, it definitely brings to question that it's like, oh, well, if both users have the key, who else has the key?
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if I would do any illegal activities and shit via teleconferencing.
Yeah,
So
maybe get a burner phone.
yeah,
Don't talk about your like drug lord
yeah,
activities on
yeah,
Zoom.
yeah. Which is so funny that you said burner phone because Finn has like this little cell phone that we gave him, and just the other day, Megan was like, "Finn, go pick up your burner phone and put it put it in the fucking toy basket."
I love it.
And I was like, "Geez, he's gonna go to school and be like, oh, burner phone,"
God.
and people are gonna think that we're like slinging fucking drugs out of our house or some shit. Daddy has to check me into daycare on his burner phone. But anyway, that was kind of all that I had to say
Yeah.
in regards to the Zoom stuff. But
I've got some positive technology stuff
ooh,
as
nice.
a change.
All right.
I read this article about Pinterest a couple months ago, and I keep like meaning to bring it up on the podcast, and then I
Mm.
push it to another week. But yeah, and this is actually kind of cool to cover now because it's from January, so it's before the world went to shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So it pretty much says like the internet is just not like the most wholesome of places, and tech companies have to decide how much of a role they have in responding to the bad shit that's on their platform.
Yeah.
And the dude that is the CEO of Pinterest, Ben Silbermann, is like awesome. Like he's got to be like the opposite of Zuckerberg.
Oh
He
my God.
said, this is a quote from him. He said, I think the lesson that everyone's learned over the last few years is that if you want positive things to come out of internet technology, they have to be deliberately engineered that way. So
Mhm.
pretty much if you want the net to not be so terrible, you've got to contribute to it being positive.
Gotcha.
Like I've said before, like I kind of harp on it, but I make a point to like curate the stuff that I follow to make my social media more positive for the most part.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it like I swear that's a form of self-care if there's any kind of self-care out there.
Oh well, I mean, I mean, I think that we've kind of talked about this in the past about just there. I don't think there's enough data at this point to actually say that there's causation behind it. But dude, there is a very strong correlation with the advent of social media and like, skyrocketing depression and suicide rates and
Oh
like
yeah.
all this stuff and like cyberbullying and all this, or hell, honestly, I would even go as far as to say bullying in general.
Yeah.
Like I remember, and I think I might have told this story, so I'll make it short. But I had a cousin that her parents basically were like, "Hey, get off Facebook," because she was getting all of this shit from this other girl in her class,
Yeah.
and that she like does some kind of dance or something like that, some kind of dance class thing with this other chick,
Hmm.
and and honestly, it reminded me of like fucking Mean Girls
Yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
and so they just were like, hey, you're not going to use Facebook anymore, like, text message your friends, whatever kind
Yeah.
of thing.
I mean, sometimes you have to do that, especially as a parent, like
Yeah, yeah,
you got to watch out for your kids. And yeah, it might seem like it's a bit much to make them completely get off of a certain platform, but like
yeah,
sometimes that's what they need.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So it says the site is basically there for most users to pin pretty pictures and do the internet equivalent of window shopping. And
Mhm.
Pinterest hasn't really been at the center of conversations about the tech industry's role in handling misinformation and politics.
Mhm.
But they face their own dilemmas around how to control what users see on the platform. And more
Mhm.
often than not, they choose to intervene. So, like, it's positive. This sounds very like, okay, why are you big brothering your thing? But like,
Hey, you said it. I didn't.
hey, but they've just got a lot of like complicated things where they encourage good behavior among their, as of January, 320 million global users. He said
That's
if
awesome.
you care about the well-being of the people who use your service, you have to care about the content and the things that they do on that service. So one example they gave was people started looking for information on vaccines and other medical issues on Pinterest.
Oh, wow.
And like I go to Pinterest to look at haircuts or like home
Recipes.
office recommendations. Yeah, recipes. Like I
Uh,
don't know. I don't go there for like news or science.
Well,
I don't
and
know.
that's what's been really fascinating to me about Facebook.
Yeah.
That people will flock to Facebook for news.
Well, people will believe anything that anyone
Yeah,
else shares too.
yeah, hmm
And like I'm in a big group and people will share stuff that's funny, but like it's from like a site that's basically the Onion, and people always have
yeah,
to be like, "Listen, dude, this is a fake news site." Like
yeah,
that's their whole shtick.
yeah, yeah. No, and that's yeah. It's like oh my God, what was the fucking website? Somebody posted something, and it was just literally 100% satirical.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, "Oh my God, this is just fucking ridiculous. This has gotten completely out of hand." And then you have a response that it's like, "Do you understand like the website?
Yeah. Like have you heard
Like
of
what the
satire?
yeah."
Yeah.
It's absolutely bizarre. But I feel like we're, that the old saying of like believe half of what you see and only, and none of what you hear or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how it goes. Dude, we're at the point to where like don't believe anything unless you've fucking either seen it for yourself
Yeah.
or you have like substantial evidence to support it kind of
Dude, that's
thing.
something I'm kind of like in the back of my head I'm worried about with like the world today. I know that makes me
Yeah.
sound like an old person, but
No, no.
this book I'm reading right now, it's a novel, but it's set like after it's called After the Flood, and the whole setting is after this huge flood that like flooded most of the land in the world. And
Yeah.
like one thing they're talking about is like in the time between like a big flood and then the very biggest flood,
hmm
like communication was breaking down, and basically like you didn't know any news because everything was just reduced to rumors. And I'm like, oh God, like we're not that far off from that.
No, especially with the state that fucking journalism is in.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, literally, there is no objective journalism, I feel like,
No,
anymore.
like it's
Everything's
all
editorialized.
opinionated. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
editorialized. Ugh.
It's so frustrating. And I mean, I don't know, especially to have this podcast to be like trying to give our listeners the utmost of facts, at least to our,
Yeah,
knowing. It's very fucking difficult
yeah,
because I mean, even when we were talking about the stuff going out around about, oh, ventilators are going to be prioritized for younger patients
yes.
and all this stuff. And dude, you have to look like very deep to actually find out that it's like, okay, these are just claims. The CDC is looking into it, or not the CDC, but like the FDA and like,
Yeah.
all these medical communities. It's like, hey, pump the brakes. We're not there yet, kind of thing. This is just like,
This one
I
dude
don't.
talking in hypotheticals quit
Yeah,
thinking that it's what's going to happen in hospitals.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Ugh,
just it's
I
wild. It's
know.
absolutely
I
wild.
know.
But then, on the other hand, I'm gonna go ahead and play the devil's advocate real quick.
Yeah.
So I agree with like, yes, these tech people, they need to step in when there's like, and I hate to say this because it's very subjective, but when there's like damaging or like for instance, the best example I can come up with off the top of my head is like, oh, somebody says drinking bleach will help fucking keep you immune to
Sure,
COVID
they
or
need to
something
get
like
ahead of
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I would say that if you line up 10 people in a room, I'd say everybody would agree with me.
I don't know.
Okay, how
Have
about
you met
9?
people?
But see, that's the thing is it's like, okay, I also think that it's like, dude, it's kind of on the user to look into this shit,
Yeah,
and
but
to
I don't
because I mean,
know.
fuck, man, like if people aren't willing to to like fucking look out for their own well-being,
Yeah,
like why should tech companies be responsible for saving somebody from themselves?
yeah.
You know?
I mean,
So
there
I don't
used to
know.
be a time when you could just trust the news, sort of,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
Well,
time
see,
is
and
no
that's
more.
yeah, and that's the because it's ad driven at this point.
Oh yeah,
So it's like, okay, well, we're not going to run this story because it makes McDonald's look bad,
yeah,
or we're not going to run this story because it makes whatever fucking Bezos look bad
yeah,
or something like that, And
yeah,
it's just it sucks because our news has evolved into native ads and like we said, a bunch of editorialized bullshit that it's opinionate or opinion pieces,
yeah, yeah. It's a mess.
but yeah. Anyway,
Ugh.
I do have to say, Pinterest has not been in the fucking news in regards to anything getting traction on their platform.
Yeah,
So,
they actually so they made the decision like with the vaccine stuff
mhm,
that when someone searched for it, they would not bring up vaccine content because the company couldn't verify that the information on its platform was credible. So
yeah,
like, and there's a
yeah,
screenshot if you search vaccine,
yeah,
it brings you up. It says pins about this topic often violate our community guidelines,
hmm,
and those prohibit harmful medical misinformation. Because of this, we limit search results to pins from internationally recognized health organizations. If you're looking for medical advice, please contact a healthcare provider. I'm like,
okay.
that's great.
So what if we like met in the middle and just said like, okay,
Put that warning, but also put all the results.
yes, yes.
I don't know.
Do you think that warning's enough, or do you think that it does require like?
Well, okay.
Because at that point
Let's think of
we're
Pinterest as basically the DIY platform that you go to look up a way to do something yourself. If you're
uh
searching vaccines, you that's not what that should be for.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that point by any
Right?
stretch.
And if you want to read what like mommy bloggers have to say on vaccines, seek
Yeah,
those out somewhere other than through Pinterest. Like
yeah,
you can use Google for that. You can, just
hmm,
search on a blog platform.
hmm.
I don't know. But then
Well, so
it's got other things that they terms that they have deemed harmful, such as self-harm, bulimia, and thinspiration, which
thin. I've never even heard of
oh man,
thinspiration.
there used to be a whole thing on like years ago where people would post. I would go down this rabbit hole looking at it and being like, what's wrong with people?
God,
It's
thinspiration just makes me want queso.
oh god. Well, it's very much like, and now there's a movement for like fitspiration, so it's like fitness inspiration. That's a lot
Yeah,
better. But like
yeah,
thinspiration would seriously be like legitimate like women who are like in the throes of an eating disorder posting pictures of like their rib cages and people being like, I wish I could be that thin, like I
ugh.
haven't eaten in 4 days and stuff. It's a whole, oh, it's awful. So
There
like,
was
yes,
there
by
was
all
this
means, block that.
yeah, there was this chick in high school that like ended up having to go to therapy. I'm not making fun. It was
No.
just like absolutely bizarre to watch.
Yeah.
And like she was a decent friend, or at least she was involved in the friend group that I was in.
Yeah.
And like we'd go like over to somebody's house or whatever, and we'd like go out to eat or whatever and like take out. And dude, she would literally have mustard packets and lettuce.
Jeez.
It was like fucking, and I mean, we all watched. And I mean, not that we didn't try to step in and stuff. We would kind of make passing jokes about like, damn, you need to eat a little something, get
Yeah.
some meat on those bones, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, but like, dude, we watched this chick go from probably like she was maybe like 5'4", and
Mhm.
maybe like a buck 30 or something to like under 100 pounds
Yeah.
easy
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I mean, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, like not she wasn't disgusted,
No,
but
but
like watching a person.
the disorder. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that's some weird shit.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I'm definitely more in with the Fitspiration
Yeah,
than
Fitspiration's cool, but
Thinspiration.
Finspiration is so sad. And
Yeah.
ugh. But yeah, pretty much this guy just said they work with organizations that specialize in relevant fields to come up with approved, trustworthy content on hot button issues. So, like,
Hmm.
if you search for stuff like anxiety, depression, stress, any kind of mental health topic, it
Hmm.
also starts bringing up not just those like inspirational generic quotes about happiness and perseverance, but
Yeah.
also it brings up pins about like wellness activities like meditation or breathing exercises and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I think Pinterest is back here behind the scenes just working their ass off to make their thing just good, like
Just
just good
like
natured
positive.
and yeah, just decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said at the very end of this, he said, we think that content actually has an impact on people's lives. And so if you don't take some responsibility for what people see, you are at some level responsible for the downstream consequences. And
Well, you're
like,
just facilitating it pretty
yeah.
much,
And
right?
I totally realize that Facebook is a completely different animal than Pinterest, but I
Hmm.
just want to say Zuckerberg would never take a stance like this
Oh no,
because
no,
he's a
no. I
sleazeball
agree. Yeah,
and
I
he's not
agree.
even
I mean,
human.
fuck. Yeah, yeah. Seriously,
Cue to
how
him
did?
drinking some water.
Can, yeah, exactly.
Shit.
I noticed that your eyes are leaking. How do I emote?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude. Well, speaking of Zuckerberg and tech, I wanted to cover this one thing because oh man, fucking Google. Like, even though Google has its tendrils in basically everything these days, um, I wanted to talk about this like community mobility reports that they've started generating
Oh man,
because
I'm big mad about these.
dude, this is one of these things that and Allie and I were talking about it a little bit before the show. First of all, I pulled this article from Engadget. Google's COVID-19 reports show where people are obeying stay-at-home orders. Okay, so first of all, I don't even like that wording. People are obeying stay-at-home orders. It's like why doesn't it say people are adhering to like stay-at-home recommendations kind
Yeah,
of
I feel
thing?
like
Well, I
that
guess
was
they are orders at
very,
this point, but
but obeying is a very like
yeah.
I'm just picturing Shepard Fairey's whole campaign of stuff.
No shit. Yeah, dude. And like somebody standing up behind a podium just yelled, "Suck it up, slave. Obey." No, just
Pretty
kidding.
much that. Yeah.
But anyway, so Google has unveiled these COVID-19 community mobility reports, and they're literally doing exactly what it sounds on the surface. They're basically saying, "Hey, we already have all of these programs on all of these tens of millions, probably close. Well, we'll say tens of millions of devices in which you've already clicked yes to the terms and conditions, aka." We can track you every time that you open Google Chrome or Google
Yeah.
Hangouts or whatever,
Yeah.
and they're able to pull location data to the point to where they can say, hey, these devices are staying within this like small area, aka around their home, and these devices are not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they say, in all of this whatever in their lawyer jargon speak, we have heard from public health officials that this same type of aggregated oh my
Oh boy.
God. I'm jumping on the alley
Yeah.
train.
Welcome to it. It's the
Anonymized.
worst.
Holy fuck. Anonymized data could be helpful as they make critical decisions to combat COVID-19. I just don't trust these fuckers any further than I could throw them.
Yup.
And I think that this is one of these things that we really need to be paying attention right now about legislation, and we need to be paying attention about all these tech companies that are coming at us with the facade of helping to combat this pandemic. And we just need to be looking. We need to be reading this shit very closely, because once you let the cat out of the bag, man, it's going to be really fucking hard to get it back in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
If at all possible.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, and it's insane the reach that these fools have. In this article, they were talking about how the reports are available to all users in 131 countries. And in some regions, you can search for regional, state, and county data. So, I mean, like, I don't know, man. It is one of these things that it does not leave a good taste in my mouth, you know?
Yeah, and I also just completely on a different, like, a different gripe about it all.
Yeah.
They don't take into account, like, yeah, in New York City, you can walk to a bodega and buy a loaf of bread. I fucking can't. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
my closest place to buy a loaf of bread is there's one like a mile from here, and it has kind of weird hours and days, and then there's one a couple miles from here. So, like, even if I'm totally staying at home, but I'm running out for groceries or medicine, I have to go a couple miles. Like, I can't just, like, some cities it was as low as like 60 feet. Like, no, I've never lived somewhere like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other issue with this is like so this is coming from a place that the CDC and the government has looked at other countries that have in quotes successfully combated COVID, and are having declines in like new cases or deaths or basically anything that would be positive in regards to this pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, okay, it's been used by like Korea, Taiwan, to track movements of quarantine and healthy citizens. However, such actions are of limited use alone. Those countries also have been testing a high percentage of their populations and implementing stricter social distancing rules as well. So obviously saying, yes, this is helping, but this is really just a contributing factor into the entire containment plan kind of thing.
Like you can't act like this is the only thing that's fixing it or harming it.
Which the other thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way about this stuff is they were talking about having this program on your phone that so they're tracking your location, and then you would also have your Bluetooth stuff on so that it can ping when you get in a close vicinity of someone else with the program and their Bluetooth on.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And so what they were talking about in regards to that is that they're saying that, okay, you can put this list within this app, and you would have to list phone numbers because in order for them to contact these other people that you have been in contact with, you have to provide phone numbers.
Right.
And once they have the phone numbers, then they can basically say, okay, go ahead and tell us, if you have symptoms or whatever, we will triage you using this app. Mm-hmm. And then we will notify all these other people that, that we've recommended that you seek medical attention or something along those lines. But
really, what are the odds, like, if I have been at Target within the same hour as someone that gets it, what are the odds that I'm going to get it?
Well, see, and that's the thing is that, even with them coming out with stricter and stricter policies moving forward, like, for instance, we the CDC has recommended at this point that if you leave your house and are out in public, that you wear a cloth face mask. And they're still saying, hey, reserve the actual N95 respirators and all the actual legit medical masks. Keep those for the medical community because they're the ones that need them a fuck ton more than the mass public.
Yeah.
So they're just saying, hey, wear a bandana over your face or whatever. And side note, we're going to actually post in show notes and on the newsletter a little tutorial video about how to use, I think it's like 2 hair bands and a bandana to make a cloth mask. So
that's good because those are things cool. I have. Like I don't have like a rope worth of elastic like they show on those. Like I don't have that sitting around. I'm not a quilter. Like I don't have these things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have HEPA filters sitting around my house waiting to be fucking. Which, oh my god, I do have to. Sorry, hardcore tangent. So my parents asked one of Megan's friends to sew some cloth masks for him.
Yeah.
And dude, being the absolute Renaissance woman that she is, she like whips this shit up in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's like kind of fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And she actually sewed pockets on them so that you can put and remove filters.
Oh, neat.
If you want. So I was like, dude, holy shit. Like, Becky, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, she's insane, dude. She like has like an old school like printing press and like I'm telling you, like honestly, those are the people we should be talking to about the fucking zombie apocalypse.
Dude, yeah.
Holy shit. He knows how to like reload ammunition and like she knows how to literally make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And, like,
that's cool.
But I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, so since they've recommended that the cloth stuff or whatever, yeah, we're gonna post that. Where was I going with the fucking cloth face masks?
I don't even know. Like
I don't know either. Fuck. Anyway,
hard to concentrate on literally anything anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree. And obviously, case in point, what just occurred. So. But anyway, so yeah, in regards to this tracking software and all that, just be very conscious and aware of what you're doing. Yes, it's really nice. Even this house party app.
It's cool, but there's been articles about it not being secure.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, it like we've talked about before, it's not like we're using it to whatever uphold some kind of fucking like crazy illegal business or anything.
Yeah.
But it is one of these things that like, okay, well, once all this shit kind of pans out and everything, then are you gonna remove that from your phone? How much data do they already have on you?
Yeah.
It's just weird, man. But I'm just really hoping that enough people are paying attention to where these tech companies aren't going to get all this data and stuff to move forward after this, and the mass public just look back in regret. Yeah. That it was like, oh well, that was really convenient, but now fucking Facebook knows when I take a shit.
I did see an article a while back where I'm trying to think. I think it was on Jezebel. It was somewhere like that. I've got it saved. This girl said like Facebook was using data from like every app she had. Like they knew like when she had her period because she was using a period tracker app.
Dude,
like everything.
It's insane. I was trying to install some app and I ended up not installing it because it was like a fucking it was like a grocery, list app.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And it's like, "Oh, do you want to give it like access to post on Twitter for you?"
Yeah,
And
like
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah,
Why the fuck does this grocery list app need to post on Twitter for
and
me?
sometimes apps will give you a good explanation of like, here is why we need to access your
Yeah.
camera. Here is why you need to give us permission to see your contacts. But like
Yeah.
sometimes they're just like, we're a grocery store app. Do you give us permission to post your Twitter? Like, no,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. Explain, yeah, at least give me an explanation as to why you need this access
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm not on board. So, but so I
Ooh.
did want to
Oh,
just go ahead. Go ahead
no, no,
if you
no.
got
What do you
something.
want to say?
This one's a kind of a short one
Okay,
actually.
cool.
This is kind of us looking back into the vape wars and all that stuff. I thought that this, I don't know, it gives me a little bit of faith in a little bit more faith in our government. So,
Yeah.
the FTC is suing Marlboro's owner, aka Altria, because Marlboro bought Juul for $12.8 billion.
God.
So, the issue is the fact that Altria, who owns Marlboro, bought Juul, and then they basically started shuttering the company
Yeah.
slowly, kind of thing. And so the FTC is looking into the fact that it's like, okay, well, let's see. I'm just going to quote this article real quick. The feds take issue with the way the two companies, quote, turned from competitors to collaborators by eliminating competition and sharing in Juul's profits.
Yeah.
So by the one of the biggest, if not the biggest, tobacco companies acquires one of the biggest, if not the biggest, vape companies,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, they're not really competing anymore.
There is another
Kind of
damn
thing.
train. What the hell?
That's kind of funny on Sunday, which
The trains
as
never
as
sleep.
everyone as everyone knows, our listener base, yeah, we record on Sundays and post shit on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's really, it brings into question really, what are you playing at, Altria? Like, is this you just, literally taking over another company so that you don't have competition? Because that's kind of what it's fucking panning out to be. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of all I had in regards to that. I will finish with the Altria's VP, Murray Garnick, his quote. We believe that our investment in Juul does not harm competition and that the FTC misunderstood the facts. We are disappointed with the FTC's decision, and we believe that we have a strong defense and will vigorously defend our investment. So yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
I
really.
think this is some pretty bad business ethics. So, but my God, it's a tobacco company. Would you expect any less?
Ethics?
So.
What are ethics?
Yeah. But so what do you got?
Well, since I know everybody likes exotic animals right now,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the cocaine hippos.
Yes. This is perfect because I glanced at the time,
Yeah.
and we'll probably end up just unless you've got some other like
No, this can
stuff
be
burning a
the
hole.
end of mine. Yeah, this will work.
It'll be a nice wrap.
Yeah. So this is from the LA Times. There was this dude called Pablo Escobar. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He was sort of a big deal. He had some drugs.
Rings a bell. Wait, hey, was that was what Narcos was about, right?
I think so.
He was the main dude for Narcos.
Probably. I didn't watch Narcos, but probably. Like, he's
Okay.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a 7,400 acre place in central Colombia worth 63 million bucks. It had its own airport and heliport and man-made lakes and life-size statues of dinosaurs and a whole bunch of expensive cars and a zoo that had elephants and rhinos and giraffes and all these other animals. But what stood out were the hippos.
Wait, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Life-size dinosaurs?
Why would you not?
You know what? That's a very good point. Please
Pablo
resume.
Escobar, when he was on the run, he was burning $100 bills for warmth. That's how much money he had.
fucking insane,
Like
dude.
he had more money than God. Like if
Yeah.
he could do just fine to have life-size statues of dinosaurs. So,
Insane.
so the hippos stood out above all that.
Mhm.
According to the biologist that's in this story, he's from UC San Diego, and his name's Jonathan Shurin, and he sounds pretty cool. Um, he says they stood out because they're large, duh, and they're charismatic, and they require careful
What?
handling. So, Colombian police killed Escobar in 1993, and all the animals were taken in by private collectors and zoos, except
Mhm.
for the hippos. They are
Have you
too.
seen how fucking mean hippos are?
Well, yeah, yeah.
They're
They
like
talk about that.
supremely mean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. So they're too big and they're fucking dangerous, so they just got left behind.
Yeah.
They the hippos eventually left the compound and just wandered out into the countryside of Colombia, and they're still out there today. The only
Whoa.
hippos that are in the wild other than in Africa. He started off with 4 hippos. This
Uh-huh.
researcher found that in 2017 there were 65 hippos. And
What?
yep, and today he estimates there's between 80 and 100. He said in between 20 and 40 years there will be thousands. Cool,
What the fuck?
right?
And it just in
Just in
Colombia?
Colombia, just from
Holy
Escobar's
fuck.
4. So he's been measuring their impact on the environment and learning a ton. And he said that all the sayings about like wild animals won't bother you if you don't bother them, and they're more afraid of you than you are of them. None of
Yeah.
that's true about hippos.
Dude,
Yeah.
there are some videos on I
Yeah.
remember this one that these people are in a boat and they're cruising like not like a speedboat or anything, but a pretty good like clip.
Yeah.
And you just see this wave of water
Yeah.
that's like coming after
Yeah.
them. And like then you see them like speed up and then this fucking huge mouth just opens
Yeah.
kind of thing and like chomps at the boat, but
Yeah.
they were able to get away kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Like hippos
It
are
is
not to be fucked with.
dude, it is weird how fast they can fucking
Yeah.
swim.
It said they
Like
can't swim or they don't swim. They
or they
run
just
on the
run
water, like on the bed, like the riverbed.
in fucking
Yeah,
sane,
but
dude.
they can reach 25 miles an hour, which is fucking fast.
What?
I don't know for how long. I mean, like
Yeah,
a
but I mean,
sprint, but
for any fucking
I
speed
can't
or
reach that
period,
speed
yeah,
for
right.
sure. So they're violent and they have short fuses and they're territorial and like you just said, they will charge at people and they're fast.
Yeah.
They can weigh up to, do you want to guess? Do you want to guess how much they can weigh?
Let's say 2 tons.
4 tons.
4 fucking tons?
So that's 8,000 pounds. Holy shit.
That is absolutely insane, dude.
In Africa, they kill around 500 people a year, which is twice as many as lions. But there have not been any reported deaths in Colombia.
Huh.
And in Colombia, people don't want to kill them because they bring in a handful of tourists. Like, not really
Uh-huh.
foreign, but like people from other areas of Colombia, it sounded like. Um,
Is there and I don't know if this is in
yeah,
that story or if you just know off the top of your head. Is there anything that would be that poachers would want from
it
hippos?
didn't say, but I don't know of anything.
Yeah, because I
Like
don't like
rhinos
I
have their horns,
yeah,
but
and like
like,
elephant,
yeah,
ivory and all that jazz.
I
But
don't think
um,
hippos have anything people want.
I wonder if hippo. Well, I was gonna say I wonder if hippo meat would be tasty, but
Listen,
like
have
good
you heard
fucking
that
luck.
dollop?
Huh?
Okay, that's your assignment for this week, and I put myself a
Hippo
note
meat?
at the bottom of this. Yes,
Oh
it's called the
yes.
Hippo Bill, and it's a very good episode of the dollop.
All right, writing it down right
It's
now.
insane. Of course it is. It's a dollop.
Yeah.
But yeah, researchers are not sure whether the hippos will help or harm the environment because they could deplete the local grasslands. They
Uh,
like they they are nocturnal, so they come up to the land and eat grass all night every night. And
I
then
wonder
they
how much can
just
they eat, or does it say?
it didn't say, or at least I didn't put it in my notes, but
Uh,
then they shit in the water and that can fuck with the water quality and even like lead to certain fish dying off,
Oh,
but the
wow.
nutrients can help some other species flourish. So they're still figuring out like whether it's ultimately good or bad. And
Dude.
last little pin on this,
Yeah.
Escobar's place is now an amusement park. Did we know that? Is that a thing people know?
No. Wait, what in the flying? You know what I feel like it needs to actually be?
What?
Is a fucking mini golf like
Oh my
course.
God, can you
Like,
imagine?
because, you know,
With those
putting through the
dinosaurs.
legs of like, yeah, putting through the legs of like a T-Rex statue or something. Oh, and by the way, I just looked up how much hippos eat, and they will eat around 40 kilos of food at night,
Oh my
which
God.
is a fuck ton of grass.
Honestly, same for me right now with the snacking and the being
Yeah,
stuck
I
at
know,
home.
right? Dude, it's terrible. Megan and I are like, oh, God, I'm so fucking bored. Ah, but we just ate. I guess I'll just make some popcorn. It's terrible, dude. It's fucking
Shit.
terrible. But, oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking Escobar's hippos,
Escobar's
rock
hippos.
and
What can you
roll.
do?
What can you? That makes me want to watch like a hippo documentary. I
Listen
just
to
want to
that
know more
dollop.
hippo facts. Yeah, I just want more hippo facts. Stat.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking we should do a wrap.
I think we've done it.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do our little social jingle real quick. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know if you have hippo facts. Let us also know if you have good recipes or shit to do during this fucking time of like what did
Please.
I call it? The existential numb. So
Yeah.
but anyway, you can contact us at tetherradio@gmail.com. That is TETHERRADIO@gmail.com. We are on Jack Dorsey's Twitter sphere at tether_radio. Same damn handle on Instagram at tether_radio. We've got a Facebook page, Tether Radio, all one word, and the ever bustling and just evolving group of Tether Radio After Dark. We also have the fucking phenomenal Tether Radio newsletter that goes out weekly the morning of our full episodes every Wednesday. You can sign up for that at tetherradio.substack.com or by going to our Twitter profile and looking at the pinned tweet at the top. Yeah, so this has been Tether Radio episode 95. I'm Daniel.
I'm Allie.
And we thank you for lending us your ear for about, I don't know, hour 45, something along there.
I think so.
So yeah, so stay safe out there, wash your hands. Carol Baskins is a bitch, and Epstein did not kill himself.
No, but Carol Baskins did kill him.
Yes, exactly. So thank you guys, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Bye.